Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace, mercy, and blessings of God be upon you. This is a new presentation from www.central-mosque.com and the Humble Heart YouTube channel. It is the 23rd episode of the Making Sense series. The topic today is what should Indian Muslims do? Before I talk about my topic, I want to make 2 points. Number one, throughout this video in this top right hand corner, there will be a playlist of different presentations I've done about the situation of Muslims in India, the rising fascism, and so on. And secondly, this presentation is based on my opinion. It is an opinion out of concern for the Muslims of India. Please feel free to disagree, inshallah. Point number one. For the past 30 to 35 years, I have interacted with Indian Muslims from all levels, laymen to professionals to ulama to the heads of Darul Ulooms, etc. And one thing that I've noticed is, even to this day, I'm recording this in 2022, they seem to project this sort of denial, particularly if someone is from Pakistan like me, and they keep saying, Pakistan and Pakistanis should worry about their own countries, etc., etc., and everything is fine. A few years ago, I was in US and I went to Salat of Zohar, I believe, and this Imam, American Mufti, and he was showing a video in the masjid about how good his neighbors are in India, Hindu neighbors, and how great they are and the relationships, etc. And he happened to be from an area which was ravaged by Muslim genocide. There were video testimonies of Muslim women gang raped in that area, etc. And he was doing a presentation of how great it is, and they've lived with the Hindus for generations, etc., etc. So I've heard this talk all over the place, and they say majority of my villagers are Hindus or my neighborhoods are Hindus, and I have no problems. Don't believe the media. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the politicians. My brothers and sisters, you know, you. I don't know what is the reason for that. I don't know what is the reason for this collective denial. The situation in India is pretty bad. Genocide has 10 stages, and the Muslims of India are facing stage 7 or stage 8, depending on whom you speak to. Things are bad. There is no reason, if a Muslim is talking to you with concern out of love for Allah and out of love for the Ummah, there's no reason for you to brush it aside. The things are bad, and our du'as are with you, and we will assist you because you are our brother or sister in Islam. Secondly, there is nobody coming to help the Muslims of India at all. There is no secular, liberal, firebrand leader coming to help your situation. Arabs from the Middle East are not going to help you. The West is not going to help you. The political activists in the West, in the name of human rights, are not going to help you because India is a massive cash cow for the West, and for the Arabs and everybody else. Over a billion population, they want to sell their goods there, they want to sell, trade there, they want to sell their services there. Nobody really cares. So turn your reliance and put your trust into Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Make dua to Allah for Allah to show you the way out. Pakistan is not coming to help you. The Arabs are not coming to help you. The United Nations is not coming to help you. The Constitution of India is not coming to help you. The Taliban are not coming to help you. Turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm sorry for being rude, but this is the most straightforward, blunt advice that I can give you, that you are on your own. So turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your hour of need. Secondly, I see many young Indian Muslims, on the social media and on YouTube, etc. They talk about issues of Pakistan. There is zero reason for Indian Muslims to involve themselves with Pakistan. Whether it's Imran Khan comes, Imran Khan goes, Taliban come, Taliban goes. It doesn't matter, right? Yes, there's negative stigma in India I'm talking about non-Muslims towards Pakistan generally, and towards Taliban generally, and everywhere else towards Bangladesh, etc. So I'm just giving you an example of Pakistan. There's zero reason for you to involve yourself or give a public opinion about Pakistan cricket team or any other affair in Pakistan whatsoever. So save yourself from trouble. There is and I advise you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows with as much sincerity as I can muster. There is zero reason for you to comment on this publicly in any way whatsoever. Forget Pakistan. Let people of Pakistan worry about Imran Khan, and let people of Pakistan worry about Babar Azam, whether he's a better batsman than Virat Kohli or not. It doesn't really matter. Next, I am a humble student of history as much as I can get my hands onto, and as much as I have read, you know, many pieces as humanly possible from the 1920s until now, 2022. I'm fluent in both Urdu and English. And I've heard those ulama and activists and politicians who, proposed Pakistan and supported Pakistan, as well as those who opposed Pakistan and wanted a united India. I have read both sides of the story. There's no reason to debate on this topic whatsoever. The issues of Indian Muslims today in 2022 has put paid to this. If I was talking about this 10 years ago, 15 years ago, there would have been a debate whether, forming Pakistan was correct or should have gone with United India. Today in 2022, reality bites. Reality is staring you right in your face. Okay. As to, yeah, and unfortunately, very unfortunately, and with pain in my heart, I have to say this, that over the last 30, 35 years, I have heard opinions of ulama, scholars, about Pakistan, about Kashmir, about Afghanistan, about Taliban, which are, let's say, not totally in compliance with the Quran and the Sunnah. Let me be courteous and polite about it. And they seem to be putting priority on Indian nationalism, or being a Hindustani, or being an Indian, above and beyond Islam. Our loyalty is to Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam first and foremost, and above all. So the quicker the Muslims of India realize that they've been taken for a ride, the better. For almost 100 years that I know of, the playbook that is played out all over India again and again and again, at a local level, at a state level, at the level of the prime minister elections, everything is pretty much the same, and it keeps repeating. All they do is they put up, multiple Muslim candidates who are Muslims by name, and the Muslim votes get split, and then everybody talks about the Muslim vote in UP, Muslim vote in south of India, Muslim vote in Maharashtra, etc., etc. How long will you keep falling for this stuff? So, all of this stuff, and you look at Indian religious institutions, their situation is not praiseworthy. Again, I am trying very hard to be polite and courteous. People are fighting each other in courts. People are fighting for chanda, donations, etc., prestige. If you look at the, Indian political situation, what's Asadullah Owaisi going to do? All of his firebrand speeches, what are they going to get you? At the end of the day, he has no choice, but to bash Pakistan, to prove his Indianness. So all of these politicians, have an agenda. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the reality to see through it. And I hope that they're doing it out of sincerity, and there's no maliciousness. Sorry, they're not bought off. They're doing this out of, just sincerely wrong. Their calculations are wrong. Their methodology is wrong, out of sincerity, inshallah. But please wake up to this reality. Over the last 30 years, I've extensive discussions with Indian politicians, Indian ulama, top Indian ulama who run top Darul Ulooms in India, and it just absolutely amazes me, to hear what they have to say about the situation and the way forward. Secondly, oh sorry, not secondly, but I think third or fourth point, I lost count here. Sorry about that. The seculars and the liberals of India are not going to save you at all. Stop living in this delusion that, if some secular, has to say something, if they wanted to do something, they would have done it by now, and they're not going to do that, and they cannot do anything. This, opium of secularism has been sold to Indian Muslims by everyone, Muslims and non-Muslims combined. You can hear talks about major Indian ulama, and they back this secularism. And this opium has been sold to you for generations. That's not going to save you at all. The seculars and the liberals and nobody is coming to your rescue at all. You should place your trust into Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Next, when it comes to social media, I see, some Indian Muslims, and I can only think by the way they're using social media that they're young and inexperienced and naive. Brothers and sisters, there's a difference between foolishness and bravery. Within 5 minutes of reading their posts, I can kind of have a pretty good idea where they work, where they live, etc., etc. Social media offers you anonymity. Now, there are Indian journalists who are well known or people in India who are well known, so there's no problem for them to put themselves out there publicly, but protect yourself and protect your family from harm. There's no reason for you to start posting with your real name, etc. You need to be absolutely active on social media, no doubt about it, but you need to protect yourself. You need to amplify the voice of the Muslims. You need to protect the Muslims from oppression, but there's no reason for you to put yourself in danger. So be careful. Don't be foolish in the name of false bravado or something like that. It does not get you anywhere. Don't get your family and everybody else in trouble at all. Next, which goes hand in hand with what I just talked about, you need to become politically active. As I said, over the last 30, 35 years, so many ulama and darul ulooms I've spoken to, and they say, what, the Muslims should just do namaz and turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, do zikr, Allah ta'ala will change our situation. No, Allah Ta'ala is not going to change your situation until you change what is within yourselves. Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, above all, is our example. And Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam could have made his dua and his namaz was way superior to us. But Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam took concrete and practical steps. You need to become politically active on the social media, but smartly and with intelligence. Amplify the voice of the Muslims of India and amplify the human rights abuses and everything else that is happening to Muslims of India. Next, and I've had this discussion many times with the Muslims of India, about you need to migrate or immigrate. Migrate somewhere in India, which is safer, for example, south of India, whatever, and immigrate. And the answer always comes back. The Indian Muslims, they seem to mock you. When you give this opinion, they say, there are over 200 million Muslims in India, and they cannot migrate, they cannot immigrate. It's impossible. Where are they going to go, right, etc. I know, and it is common sense that 200 million people cannot migrate. I'm talking about you. If you have an opportunity and your job gives you an opportunity to be able to move to a comparatively safer location within India or overseas, do it, because Allah Ta'ala tells you in the Quran that Allah has made this earth vast. You don't need to get into theological or practical discussions. You need to first protect yourself, you and your family. So by Allah, take this advice. Don't get into intellectual debates about 200 million Muslims. Allah Ta'ala will find a way for them. But if you have an opportunity to migrate to a safer part of India or overseas, please do it. Next, write and document. It's amazing to me that India is one of the leading countries in the world when it comes to IT, but the level and the professionalism of websites, blogs, YouTube channels of Muslims of India is shambolic and diabolical. Fortunately, this is an easy thing to fix. All you need to do is put your mind to it. So as I have said, you need to be active on social media. You need to be politically active. I need to amplify your own voice and what is happening to you. Inshallah. This isn't very difficult to remedy. All you need to do is ask someone saying, okay, you know what, I've written this or I've made this YouTube video. What do you think? What software should I use? I've seen blogs of Indian Muslims who are professionals. I mean, I've looked at their qualifications. Some of them I've talked to, so I'm talking to you, those who I talk to. You have an MSc and a PhD, and you're a doctor and so on. And I see the way you write. It is like a child. Okay, the blog is in 5 different colors and 50 different fonts, etc., etc. Get it right. Inshallah, you have done this. You can do this professionally. Ask someone. All it will take is a few months. I've seen people with zero skill set to be able to write effectively within a matter of few months. So work on it. and do it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Say, Allah, this is the talent that this is the only talent you have given me. I have nothing else. So do it. Sisters who are sitting at home, you don't need to go out there and go and mingle with men or etc etc. You can do this better. Every single day make an intention that the next thing I'm going to write is going to be better and better and better, and Allah ta'ala will bless you inshallah. Lastly, and I'm going to end this on a sad note, if you look at the Western think tanks like Rand Corporation and stuff, they've been predicting since 2017 that at some point, if the situation in India does not change, then there's going to be some sort of an armed insurrection in India. Those Muslims who are familiar with the cause of Palestine or Kashmir today know that Palestine and Kashmir was not like that in the 80s or late 70s. It became because they exhausted all political means and they realized nothing else can be done about it, and they turned to this armed insurrection. This is coming to India unless there is a very drastic change and the genie of this fascism is put back in the bottle. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has control over all things. Allah ta'ala can change anything. But from what we can see, apparently, I don't see this happening at all. So I see that coming where the Indian state, in terms of Indian state, I talk about the police. The police in India, as you all know, those who live in India, is complicit in all the atrocities and human rights abuses that are inflicted upon the Muslims. The army is very rapidly, the values in the army are very rapidly getting eroded. And I'm not talking about, the anti-terrorism operations in Kashmir. I'm talking about generally the army of India, the fabric of the army of India is changing very quickly. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. But from what I can see, with a little bit of trends from what I can see an armed insurrection coming to India. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect all of you. Again, I end saying this is simply my opinion, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring peace, safety, and security to all of you, inshallah. Ameen.